All right, now the NCP Chief Sharad Pawar met with Prime Minister Modi today. Now, this was a brief 20-minute meeting in the national capital. Now, NCP sources say that the meeting was held to discuss the farmers' issue. But interestingly, this meeting comes a day after Sharad Pawar met some of the NCP as well as Sena leaders amid the political crisis that has been brewing in the state of Maharashtra. Madhav joins us live on the broadcast for more on this. Madhav, thank you so much for joining us. Now, the timing of this, meeting is interesting because if you look at the political situation in Maharashtra, which of course is tense, but big MVA leaders are being probed, for various corruption cases. And just yesterday, we saw Sharad Pawar having, a closed-door meeting with some of the NCP as well as Shiv Sena leaders. And now today, we're seeing that he meets Prime Minister Modi.
Well, absolutely. As you rightly put it, in fact, several leaders of the Aghadi are in fact being probed by central agencies. And in the past, we have seen allegations coming in from several political leaders, particularly those who are being probed and, of course, their party colleagues and leaders, that the central agencies are being misused. So certainly, of course, when a leader of the stage of Sharad Pawar meets with the Prime Minister, certainly there is always speculation about whether that figures as far as the meeting is concerned. Officially, of course, we have seen farmers' issues being given as a reason for Sharad Pawar meeting with the Prime Minister, but certainly that is, of course, the backdrop in which this meeting is taking place. Also, very significantly, yesterday Sharad Pawar had a meeting not just where top leaders of the NCP and Aghadi were present, but also several union ministers from Maharashtra were also present at that particular meeting. So is this some kind of a larger outreach as far as Mr. Pawar is concerned, is also a talk that is currently doing the rounds, given what has just transpired last night where a dinner took place, which of course was hosted by Mr. Pawar and of course where other top leaders of the central government were also present. So all of this happening, and we also know that Sharad Pawar is expected to brief the media in a very short while from now. So we will have to see what Mr. Pawar says at his press conference in terms of what really, of course, has transpired in the meeting with the Prime Minister. Perhaps we'll have to wait for an on-record comment coming in from the senior leader himself to actually determine what transpired at that particular meeting. Back to you.
Absolutely, Madhav. In fact, do you also think that there's something more, to read between the lines, especially at a time when the opposition parties are, calling upon each other to, come and, unite against the BJP ahead of the assembly elections?
Well, we have seen, of course, several opposition parties come out and say that they must unite together. And remember that it's only when the index of opposition unity is at its highest that opposition parties have been able to get the BJP or put the BJP on the mat and actually defeat them. That's happened, in fact, a couple of times in the past, as we've seen in several states in Bihar and other parts of the country, including in Maharashtra. But the question is this, that the relationship between NCP and BJP has been a very tricky one. While Sharad Pawar himself has been honored with the highest of civilian honors as far as the 15 wards are concerned, at the same time, we have seen cases where the NCP leaders have been probed by various agencies, including the CBI and ED, several times in past years and also over the recent months. Now, in such a situation, of course, there is always a room for speculation as to what really is the talk that is going on at the highest levels. Perhaps we will never know what the comment of the page that comes in on record as far as this is concerned. Perhaps we will not comment on this aspect at all, but certainly that is one very big speculation, one major issue of suspense in terms of what has transpired as far as those very important and landmark cases of corruption are concerned, which are being alleged. So it is, of course, at the end of the day, very difficult to predict before leaders comment officially on this particular meeting as to what has transpired. But certainly all eyes on what really this means as far as the politics and the political landscape of Maharashtra is concerned.
All right, Madhav, appreciate you joining us with all those details.